Kelly from Cars by Christine here with you on Thursday? I don't know. The time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, especially for teachers, I say this now that I am one, is bizarre. So, here we are. Thank you so much for joining us. We have kit class today, and we have two fantastic kits. I know, I didn't even turn the lights on. I was like, why? It's just been, you know? But what a blessing it is to be here today. I'm so excited. We have two awesome kits to create. We have the Cherry Blossom Treat Boxes kit, and we have the Perpetual Beauty Calendar kit. I'm so excited about that one. I have a little story about that, and I will share that with you when we're making it. But excuse the attire. It is cold here. It is 1 degree or -1, depends on what source of information you are using.
It's cold.
It's cold, and the wind chill, I don't remember what it is, but my son, he likes school a lot. He really does. He's in 1st grade, but he has learned how to ask Google things. So we have these little Google speakers, and this morning he asked Google how cold, what the temperature was, and it said -1. And then he asked Google, how cold does it have to be for school to get canceled? And Google, I mean, is everywhere. So like in Wisconsin, what it takes for school to get canceled is a lot different than what it would take for school to get canceled because of cold temperatures in a place that is not equipped for cold weather. So it did say like -35-degree wind chill or something like that. So, I mean, that can't be too far off. But it is cold. It is very, very cold. And I also don't want to see what my hair looks like under this hat. And I've recently been told that I look cute in a hat. So we're getting the hat today. So
I got this just in too, if you want to share. This is that new DSP.
Oh,
The special release. You can open it up. The special release.
okay. We have fun goodies. So just cracked these kits out of the box, and in that box there were a couple other goodies that we are going to show off. So let's take a peek. So we have the special release DSP. This is Shades and Hues.
It's from Color Theory in the past.
So yes, these are recreations of past things. So this is a past paper kit that used to be, what did you say? Okay.
It used to be Color Theory.
Color Theory, that's right. This is called Shades and Hues. So let's see what we got. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, that's right. This is pretty. Crackly. Here's an ombre. Ombre.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever it is. Okay. So we've got 4 colors here. Oopsies, that's the blue one. And that's a light crackle. That was Fresh Freesia. This is Pool Party. So it's going to be the same patterns, just of course with the different color. Okay. I think it said that this was Peach Pie. Let me check. Sorry, Petal Pink. Okay. Petal Pink. And then Misty Moonlight is coming up next. I love Misty Moonlight. It is, oh, look at how beautiful that is. All right, so look at all of those fun patterns. So that was Shades and Hues. Now we have, that's a 6x6, obviously, you can see that. This is Refreshed Beauty, 12x12. Oh, this used to be Blackberry Beauty. I remember that one.
I love Blackberry Beauty.
I did too. Okay, so this first pattern, it's funny, it does not look at all the same as the Blackberry Beauty. It's completely different. This has little owls on it, if you can't tell what those shapes are. I mean, it's got leaves, foliage, some mushrooms, all sorts of fun stuff. We've got owls. Whoa, okay. This is a pink pattern. I don't know what pink that is. We'll see in just a minute. Okay. Here we have some sparrows. Ooh, that's pretty. Wow, that is a vibrant color combination.
It's like citrus. Citrus lovers will love it.
Yeah, it is.
And like it's right up Gina's alley.
Oh, so we have to stay tuned for what Gina's gonna make magic with this.
I think so.
So what colors do we have here? This is Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo. Oh, see, I was gonna say Flirty Flamingo, but that, okay. Granny Apple Green, Lemon, Lime, Twist, and Peach Pie. So those are the colors featured there. And then the last one here is Serene Love, which was True Beauty. Now this is in Lost Lagoon, Night of Navy, and Old Olive. So let's see what we got in store here. Whee. This is fun. Ooh, I love this pattern. Okay, so this is Night of Navy. Beautiful. This imagery is absolutely beautiful with the navy tone. Ooh. Okay, so then this one must be Lost Lagoon. Oopsies. Wow. Oops, sorry. Okay, Old Olive. Ooh, polka dots. Then we have some flowers and some stripes. Beautiful. I'm a huge fan of this one, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so that was fun. Got some new DSP. Actually, a new embodiment of old DSP, so that's fun.
That's quite the word. Oh, wow.
I was striking out.
No, that was good. That's a big word. Big words are
All right. So yeah, we are just waking up here. It is 10 o'clock Central, but Chris and I both have been burning too much of the midnight oil these last.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris always, but me, like I said, this teacher, this is the void between the two. It's not cool. I am very much looking forward to holiday break. I think everyone's looking forward to the holidays, but with how the holiday lands this year, with Christmas being on a Wednesday, so then Christmas Eve, which is also a holiday, being on a Tuesday, our last day of school is a week from tomorrow. So very much looking forward to that. I've been playing double and triple and quadruple duty. I work at a small Catholic school, and we are going through an accreditation. So I've been working at the school one day a week on accreditation tasks. But then we've also had some chaos. I've been filling in as a sub all over the board. Middle school, preschool. I was preschool sub last Friday for my son's class. That was interesting. He's got himself a little girlfriend.
Oh, man, did you not know?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man.
So it's cute. It was fun.
It seems like, Mom, you're not supposed to see that I have a girlfriend?
So here's the thing. I have him in all day preschool. So preschool is typically half day, but for working families, it's just so convenient that it's like an hourly rate for the afternoon. And in the afternoon, they have nap time or rest time. And he wanted her name is Otiliana. They call her Tilly. She is the daughter of a meat market family out in our area. Southfield. Yep.
Okay.
And she has 3 older brothers. I teach.
I can relate.
I
Two older, one younger.
teach all 3 of the brothers. She is a rough and tumble little girl. She has some crazy brothers to put up with. She is sweet as can be, and she has alopecia. So she's got very patchy, short hair. She was bald in the beginning of the year, but now she's got some hair that's growing in, and she doesn't care. She is so carefree, and and the other thing that I was just talking with our principal about this, our school is incredible for accepting everyone where they're at and for who they are. No one cares. Some kids comment like, oh, Tilly's growing hair, but it's nothing derogatory or negative. It's so beautiful. So anyways, Jake tells me that he wants to lay by Tilly for nap time. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if there's a specific, there was just one kid that has to rest by the teacher's desk. I think everyone else can just kind of go where they want to go. So they laid kitty corner to each other with their heads facing each other. And then it was pajama day last week on Friday, which was so fun to be a teacher on pajama day. And pajama day also means that they can bring their blankies and their stuffies. He shared his blankie with Tilly, and then they both laid their heads on his stuffy. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. It was so cute. And then that night, Mom and Dad came over, and we had supper together, I think. And we were talking about how the school day went, and I was telling Mom about his little cuddle fest, and he just got all like, oh.
Embarrassed?
Yeah, he got all embarrassed. And Mom was like, oh, do you like Tilly? Yeah. Is she your girlfriend? Yeah, kinda. I was like, oh my gosh, this is adorable. He's 4. I was like, this is adorable. She is in 3K, so they're preschool is 3 and 4 together, so they're not technically classmates. So like next year he'll move on to kindergarten and she'll stay in preschool. So we'll have to see if their relationship, lasts the distance. But it was so cute. And then in the afternoon, she was like, they were totally flirting. It was adorable. She took his blankie and she wrapped herself up in his blankie, and he came up to me and he said, I kissed Tilly. And I was like,
Oh man.
say what? Not only mom mode, but teacher mode. I'm like, oh, what? He's like, well, she's wrapped up in my blankie and I kissed my blankie. I was like, okay, that's fine. Great. Good news. It was precious. I loved it. I don't remember why. Oh yeah, so I'm filling in all sorts of different ways at the school. Our music teacher also has been sick a couple of times, and we have a concert coming up. So I've filled in as music teacher, and I'm not musically inclined. So that's been fun. But, it's been great. We are rolling with the punches and looking forward to next week, Saturday, for 2 weeks off, or a week and a half, or whatever it is. I haven't even looked ahead. I just know that Friday's the day. We're throwing in the towel. All right, so I need to bring up the live so that I can follow along comments, because I'm sure we've got some cutesy comments about my flirtatious little boy. So that would be YouTube. And then we're going to start with the Cherry Blossoms, the Treat Boxes kit. So I think help YouTube by answering a question. Interesting.
Ignore.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so turn the volume down. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so we have extreme cold in Manitoba, Canada, too. Okay, so, yeah, I feel for you. It's probably even colder there, but this is plenty cold, and I don't need or want any colder than this. Hello, 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 everybody. Take your coat off and stay a while. I'm so cozy. I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. That was not smart, but I've got enough layers on that it doesn't matter. Cool Florida. It is cool in Florida as well. Okay. Wow. That means something. It's not fun when it's cool in Florida. I went to Florida just over a year ago, and man, was it nice to escape Wisconsin and get some warm weather. Thank you so much for sharing. And yes, grab an opportunity to throw a thumbs up if you don't mind. Share. We always appreciate that as well. You never know who could use some fun, positive creativity time on their cold Thursday morning. All right. So now let's see what we've got going on with our kits here. I'm going to get myself situated and grab some Cherry Blossom Treat Boxes kit. Get her open. So I was looking at it, and I'm not sure. We'll obviously find out with our instructions. I think there's 20 treat boxes in here. And I'm not sure if they're all exactly the same or if there's some variation. So that's what we're going to find out here. Oh, wow. Such pretty colors. Okay, so we have Early Espresso as our Stampin' Spot. This is an all-inclusive kit, so it does come with a block, which is great. So this is a great thing to even gift because you do not need anything. You don't even need talent to do this kit. It comes with everything you need. Okay, so here we go. This is the instructions. It does look as though they are probably all the same. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Sorry, I was not good at estimating. There are 12 treat boxes in here, not 20. It was a guess, okay? I saw a whole gaggle of them on the picture. I figured, you know, why go with a dozen? That seems too generic. Okay, so here we have some adhesive strips. We have our acrylic block and some dimensionals. Also have some twine. Here are the 12 pre-cut, pre-printed treat boxes. Ooh, and then we also have die-cut cherry blossoms and tags with some printing on them. I have a feeling we're going to be stamping on both of them, so we'll see how that all turns out. Okay, so let's get the instructions out, and then we'll get an idea of what we're doing here. I have a feeling these are going to be pretty simple, not simple in a bad way, simple in a let's make some fast, easy gifts. Ah, I like that. Okay, I'll show you what I'm seeing.
You'll have to give people ideas of what to put in them too.
Yes. Nice, small, petite little gifts. Okay, so cherry blossoms treat boxes. This has the 3 different variations. So the French and the German. I think that looks German and that's French. So here's the English. So her sentiments are as follows. Thank you. Best wishes. Oh, you're looking at me, not looking down. There we go. Hi, guys. All right, so we've got thank you. Best wishes for you, sweet baby. Oh, that's cute. Then we have 2 different size cherry blossom flowers. We have some branches, and then we have some stippling dots as well. So, beautiful stamps. Put that off to the side. Now, I'm going to grab a stamp pad and a block, and then I'll explain to you why in just a second. Oh, just enough. Do you have an early espresso anywhere around?
The back corner. Yeah. Just
Oh, we'll use this one. She's wobbly.
perfect.
Okay. So, yes, the kit does come with a block. And that's great, especially for someone who has no stamping supplies of their own. However, when I make these kits, I do like to bring in my own supplies. The block that you can buy in the catalog, so it's a D-size block. Most all of the kits utilize a D-size block. If not, I'm going to go out on a ledge to say all of them, I'm pretty sure, use D-size blocks, paper pumpkin and all. So all of the stamps are guaranteed to fit on the D-size block that you can buy in the catalog. And the reason that I bring my own in is A, I have access to it, so I may as well use it. But B, it is a little thicker and more ergonomically designed, so it's got the rounded edges, which is just more pleasant to hold on to. So I have it, so I'm going to use it. And then same with the Stampin' Spot. So the kit comes with a 1-inch Stampin' Spot in the color Early Espresso. However, I am going to bring in my own stamp pad because A, it's got a larger stamping surface, and B, the stamp pads that you can buy in the catalog have a foam pad compared to a fabric pad, which I personally just enjoy using more. So if you don't have it, you don't need it, but those are the reasons why I've decided to use my own supplies. Okay. So we're just going to get everything out so we know what we're working with here. Okay. We'll move the other kit out of the way too. All right, so then, let's see here. The first step is going to be stamping, and wow, we have a lot of stamping to do. So we are going to move the box component out of the way because that is not anything that needs stamping at this moment. we're gonna bring in the tags and flowers because this is what we're gonna be stamping on. And we're gonna stamp the large flower onto the die cut images. So they've got the little pinky on the inside. We're gonna be adding early espresso, some brown details to it. We're going to be stamping the branches. So I was right. There's all these like sporadic dots of color on the tags. We're going to be stamping kind of like around it. So we're going to be putting branches onto here. Then we're going to add a flower. Then we're going to add some stippling. And then last we're going to add the sentiment. Chris, for your intents and purposes, what sentiment would you like? Best wishes, sweet baby, for you, or thank you?
Thank you.
That's what I figured. So you have 4 options. Obviously, you can either leave it blank and stamp them as you need them, or you can stamp a variety. We're going to be making 12, so you could stamp 3 each of the, 3 each of the 4 different sentiments, or if you know what you use, go ahead and stamp it with what you know you will be needing. So, our block, first we're going to start with the large flower. And that's going to be simply on the flowers, not on the tag. Now, I don't know, it does appear as though this is rotational. So it looks like you can rotate it any of the ways and it'll fit and nest inside of that perfectly. So you don't need to worry about that. So just get your stamp nice and inked up and then go ahead and beautiful thing about photopolymer is you can hover over the top and kind of see to make sure, like that's just mildly crooked, but we'll take it. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 2 extras. So if you have 2 that are just really bad, that's a-okay. Typically, when Stampin' Up! Creates a kit, they do include an extra or so of the pieces that need to be stamped on, because it's not easy. You know, sometimes you get it crooked or sometimes you get a shadow or whatnot. So they want you to have an opportunity to rectify. That one was perfect. Okay, so it took 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one was perfect. The other 4 are, you know, they're close, but that one was spot on. But you know what? I do always say, this is a handmade gift, so it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Your time and effort, your love and joy are all wrapped in there. And if it's a little crooked or a little not perfect, that is a-okay. Okay, so I've got the first sheet done. We're going to move on now to the second sheet. We're just going to go ahead and stamp them all because why not? We're going to make them all. Okay. This looks, I'll bring it up to the camera in just a minute, but this looks so beautiful with that pink imagery that they printed on there. All you gotta do is add the brown outline and wow, it really pops. Another great way to make this even better is you could add some Stella. Really shine up those flowers. Oopsies. Oh, another perfect one. There. 2 out of 14. Good odds. Okay, so let's clean up our stamp pad. I have learned far too many times from personal experience that if you don't clean up your stamps, they will come back to haunt you.
Take care of your stamps and they'll take care of you.
Oh my, I probably heard that one before, but I don't know that. Take care of your stamps and they will take care of you. Look
I
at
think
that.
the real saying that my mom always taught me is take care of your money and your money will take care of you.
Oh, see, that's
why
smart.
We can say it with stamps.
Take care of your money and your money will take care of you. That is like adulting 101.
That's a Grandpa Haas.
Grandpa Haas. Very nice. Do you have another Stella? This Stella is pretty sad.
Yeah, here I got one on steroids over here.
One on steroids. Oh boy. We're getting a juicy one. It is time to retire the Stella.
Are you sure?
I'm quite sure. Even her bristles are. I'll let you make that executive decision.
I have the hardest time throwing away Stellas. I
But-
have 3 of these in my.
The bristles.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
Are very sad.
But I sometimes use that for splattering. I'll
Okay.
use water and then like
Okay.
dip in the block. That one, there's one that's
Ooh.
on steroids.
Well, now we have options.
Hopefully.
Okay. You're right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Stella in the center. And then, oh, I might use that dead one to spread it out. Because if I use this one, then it'll be very concentrated in all aspects. And I kind of just want it concentrated in the center and then just lightly spread out. See, I was about to put that in the garbage and Chris schooled me.
I have a hard time throwing things away.
Like boxes. Okay. I love Stella. I love sparkles. They just make me so happy. I used to say that glitter was my favorite color. This has been an evolution. Then I moved on to, I actually had a tumbler with the phrase sunshine is my favorite color. And that's funny that I remember that today because I was in the office making copies this morning and the sun was so beautifully shining in and that warmth and heat and just radiation felt so good. And then I remembered that it's really not heating anything. It's literally 1 degree outside. It's just there for aesthetic purposes. But yeah, so then I moved on to rainbow is my favorite color. I just love rainbows. No agenda, just rainbows. I'm a very indecisive person and I struggle to have a favorite color. It has, like, okay, if we're really talking about colors, I guess, you know, so I was a tomboy for a while, so blue was my favorite color. Then I evolved to pink, and then back when I was, like, dating and getting married, it was orange, and our whole wedding was orange.
That's because it was the fall.
It was the fall, and I do love, if you've heard Chris and I banter, like, ever around October, November, September, October, November, you'll know that I love fall and fall colors. And I don't think it's related to the wedding or the marriage, but I grew out of orange and moved on to yellow, and now I'm back to, see, I just don't know. The only thing I do know, here, I'll give you this nugget. The only thing I do know is my least favorite color is green. That's the only thing I can settle on.
Even like this color green?
I like
peacock, pretty peacock?
I like variations of green, but as a whole, green is my least favorite color.
Okay.
All right, so now this is going to be a little more challenging, and I can tell here that we're going to have to pop this out, because if I stamp onto this, it's going to bleed into the next one. So we're going to have to pop all of these tags out before we stamp. Otherwise, we're really going to have a mess. Purple. Purple is another color that has not come and gone, but like has stood in as a favorite for a while. But yeah, I struggle. I like them all, except for green. I can tolerate green. It's never gonna make its way to my favorites
Don't
list.
tell Tyler that.
I won't. It can be our secret.
He'll be like, more green for me.
Oh, man. Okay, so these are all popped out. This would be an excellent time to use a Stamparatus.
Do you want it?
I feel like I should.
No. I'll bring
Uh-oh.
it to you.
Uh-oh, there's rules.
But you just tell people it's not available.
What?
The Stamparatus would have went like a year ago.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
The Stamparatus went away a year ago.
Like
So we should all petition to get it back.
A hot mess. Like, it went out and it was gone within a day. I'm just gonna put that like that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna steal
Yeah,
it.
like last annual, I think it wasn't even this year, but last year it was that it went out.
So if you have a Stamparatus, consider yourself blessed because
I'm blessed.
it is very handy. If you don't have a Stamparatus, you can kind of just ignore this next minute. Now I will say, the Stamparatus is very well designed to do things in multiples and to do things consistently. So we have 14 tags here, and I just asked Chris what sentiment she wants, and she wants them all to be thank you. And and obviously we want the branches to go in the same spot because all of the color is in the same spot. So we're going to be doing a very repetitive task. Can you stamp this 16, 15, 14, whatever times? Absolutely. It's just this tool makes it easier. So I'm gonna get all those little jobbies out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to figure out where we need this to go. I'm gonna clean my stamp because I don't want to accidentally put it somewhere and get ink where it isn't intended to be. Okay, so let's see here. Let's lay down. Oh, goodness. I need my picture. Okay, so we're ignoring. Well, so we're basing it off of this picture. Oh, okay. So on the instructions here, this prominent pink dot is not printed on here. So you might be confused like I just was. But I think the reason that it's not shown on there is eventually we're going to put one of the flowers that we stellaed onto there. So it's going to get covered up, but it does help us kind of orient ourselves into here. So ignore that. You're going to be placing, let's grab. Okay, so the stamp, this is one stamp. All three of those pieces are together on one stamp. So we are going to be utilizing this portion, so 2/3 of the stamp. This is going to stamp every time, but we're not going to be stamping it onto the tag. So we are going to orient these 3 leaves of the top portion to the 3 dots at the top of the tag. And then we're going to be orienting the pink dot into that bud and the purple dot into that bud. Okay, so that is how we are going to lay this out. Again, it's beautiful that we have photopolymer technology because we can easily lay that down. And now you see here, we've got some washi tape down here, and that's showing us where we want to align the tag each time as we rotate a new tag in. I'm going to work double duty here and put the thank you down as well. So long as there's enough border between the two, we should be able to, and there might not be. So we're about to find out. Oh, it nests in there oh so perfectly. So I want to make sure it's not crooked because she was looking a little crooked there. Okay, so now you can put your tag in, use a magnet to hold it in place, and then we're gonna stamp up on the photopolymer on the top. We're just gonna ink it all up. And then basically this top piece is just one large block. We're gonna push it down, lift it up, and then move on to the next one. Now, if we felt as though this was ill-positioned or needed to be moved, we could move it, but I feel pretty good about how that lays out, so I'm just going to start the mass production. Now, I'm not trying to sell a Stamparatus because it's not available, but another way that the Stamparatus is designed to be used, I've really gotten into watercoloring. It is something that I find to be very relaxing and I enjoy doing. So I like to stamp images in StazOn because StazOn is not water soluble. So I can stamp an image and then watercolor it without having to worry about the black lines getting smeared. So I really love that. But one thing that is difficult is, you know, maybe when your stamp pad is not super well inked, or, you know, the watercolor paper is very porous. There's a lot of divots in it because that's where the water pools up and creates color. There we go. So oftentimes when I stamp something with my StazOn and I'm looking to watercolor it, it doesn't leave a very prominent impression, which sucks. So, oh, absolutely, I would love tips. Sorry, my comments went away. I have been a stamper for quite some time. However, nobody knows it all. So if you notice something that I'm doing that's inefficient or wrong even, definitely shout it out. I learn and grow right along with all of you. So anyways, when I stamp my imagery, oftentimes the first hit isn't strong enough. So I will stamp it, lift it up, ink it again, and then stamp it down. And because I have the guide, I am putting the stamped image directly on top of where it was before, and now it's just getting darker, or filling in the spots that were missed or whatnot. So it's really a very good tool for a lot of reasons. I'm so sad. Okay, so I have had a chaotic year plus, several years. So I was not even aware that it was not available anymore. I feel like now that we're talking about it, that I kind of am like, oh yeah, I do remember the big buzz when that came down. But that is so sad. I pray that you all have access to a Stamparatus. It is a tool that I use in my personal stamping almost as much as all the other tools, but that's because I do watercoloring so much. But yeah, so there's my little ditty on the Stamparatus. But you know, things come and go, and right now it went. You have a Misty. Okay, so a Misty is a version of the Stamparatus that is created by a different company. I originally had a Misty before Stampin' Up! Had the Stamparatus, so obviously it can retain different names. Misty stands for Most Incredible Stamping Tool Invented, I think, or something like that. But yeah, so there's no guarantee that it will not come back as something that Stampin' Up offers in the future. So, okay, how many do we, oh, we're getting there. Now, what you're also witnessing is, so according to the instructions, we did this step. Now we're doing this step, and then next we'll do these two together. So I'm just stamping more efficiently so that we don't need to stamp quite so many times. Especially because we have so many tags. Good thing it's 12, not 20, right? Now, you're probably seeing I'm getting a lot of ink on the block. That's okay. We will clean this off just like we would any of our other Stampin' Supplies. We'll get that chamois in there and get that cleaned up real quickly. Ooh, so I see a suggestion here about the blocks from the kits, and in this exact moment I don't have the capacity to understand it, but I'm going to read that in just a minute. So thank you for sharing your tips. It's great. You know, like I was saying before, nobody knows everything, and we all learn from each other. So don't gatekeep any secrets. Share your knowledge. In the kits that you get a block most of the time, if you have 2 blocks from kits, here's a tip. Take your glue dots and put 1 in each corner. Now your second block from the kit, oh, and put it on top of the other. There you go. And acrylic blocks have so many versatile uses. Obviously, we use them to mount our stamps to. But you can also, oh, there you go. So when you put 2 together, you have one that's almost the same size as buying the D from the catalog. It's also a great way to use, how do I say it? Like when you use your aqua painter or whatever. I personally, I'll show you in just a second. It'll be easier to show you than to try to explain. My words are not quite. My words are pretty well used up for the day. We just started. Okay, so let's go like this. Okay, so now we have that all done. So when you use an aqua painter, now this is an older style pad, but they all work relatively the same. You can pinch here to create a well of ink in the cover. Oh no, this one is broken. There we go. A well of ink in the cover, and then you can use your water painter to transpose that and use it kind of like watercolor. This is so silly, but I personally don't like when the ink collects on the cover. It is just a personal preference thing. So I always like to take my acrylic block and stamp it directly onto the stamp pad. And now I have a collection of ink here that I can use with my water painter or with my Stella pen. And then it just keeps my stamp pad clean. Again, it's only personal preference. There is literally no reason not to do it this way, but that's my little acrylic block tip. Like I said, there are so many other things that you can do with an acrylic block as well to help your stamping be efficient and handy. But I guess I should say, if you have any tips or ideas on how you use your acrylic block, be sure to share. We'd We'd love to pass it along. Oh, not a problem, Bling Bling Crafter. Yeah, so the first time you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you get a block. And then some kits come with a block, some kits do not. And like I said, the ones that do, it's great because you can gift them or you can get it when you are a brand new stamper just getting into stamping. Because we all know that when you start stamping, it's overwhelming. There's a lot of things that you can get. You don't need to get it all, but sometimes you want to get it all. And so having things that are included, hello. Having things that are included in kits or like even the Stampin' Spots, things that you can get for free with a kit or less expensive because that Stampin' Spot is this big. It's not as expensive as a whole ink pad. It's just nice to start your stamping journey without having the whole of the expense. Okay, now we are going to put the tag right back where it was, and we're going to put down the next two stamps. So we have the stippling dots that go up here, and then we have the small flower. This is going to be about 2/3 on, and it's going to nest right down here. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pick up the stamp. And then I see here I did a very bad job cleaning this off, so let me clean that a little better. And now once it's placed, we're going to put our tag back where it belongs. Now we need to put the magnet in a different spot because we need to put it somewhere where it's not going to interfere with our stamps. It doesn't even pay for me to worry about this because we're just going to ink it up again, but okay, I need to take a drink and then we will get back to stamping. All right. So now that should be the end of what we are doing on the tags. So I'll put them off to the side and rotate in all of the rest of them. So earlier I was putting the magnet very diagonally so that it was nested beside the stamp. Now I'm putting the magnet over the thank you because that evades the stippling and the flower. All right, my crafting friends, I have a question for you. So we're at the 12th of December, so we're just about halfway to Christmas. How are we doing on our Christmas projects? So I did not make Christmas cards. It is such a shame because card making is my hobby. I just didn't have the capacity to do it this year. So I am hopeful that next year I am able to make Christmas cards. But this year it just wasn't in the cards. No pun intended. In terms of gifts, I have been helping a lot of people. So I went to school for graphic design. So I have the computer skills that are necessary for a lot of projects. And I love helping people. I am a people pleaser by nature, and I just get a lot of joy and satisfaction out of helping people and out of seeing the projects. Because, you know, obviously I know how to make projects that I know how to make, but everyone's got their own brand and their own ideas and their own style. So it's really fun to help people bring their ideas to life, because then it's kind of like I get a whole nother variety of projects in my life. I have an Chris is my cousin, and of course she's extremely talented and crafty, but I have another cousin who is very crafty. She started with quilting. She still quilts some, but now she does more cross stitching and and crocheting. Right now is kind of the niches that she is a part of, and we've been kind of tag teaming on some things. And our library has this really cool thing. It's called the Idea Studio, where you can go in and they have all sorts of different machines. So they have an embroidery machine, they have a laser engraver, they have a 3D printer, they have all sorts of these industrial like machines that you can learn how to use, and then once you've taken the class on how to use it, you can come in and use it for free. It is so cool. I was badged on the laser engraver since they have replaced the laser engraver. So I need to be re-badged on it because it's a different brand. But my cousin, I feel like I can say this because I don't think anyone who would be receiving this would be watching. She had her grandpa, he is a woodworker, make cutting boards he made 17 of them. So 2 of them were scraps or like testers. And then she had her grandma write up the recipe to her chocolate chip cookies. And then I digitized it. And then she went for days, for hours and hours and hours on end, and had the recipe engraved on these wooden cutting boards. It is so cool. I am so blown away. And like I said, it gives me so much joy to be able to help people bring their projects and ideas to life. I also helped her create a file for some sweatshirts that she had embroidered. So it's just so much fun. I love it. Okay, we've got 2 more. You're done, but you keep making more cards. That's amazing. Cards made, but still working on the insides. Making more too, Melanie. Wow, that's great. My handmade gifts are done. I made 40 calendars. Wow. That's another thing that I'm working on. We have been making, we call it the Bertram calendar. So Chris is a Bertram, and I never was, but am a Bertram. My mom was a Bertram. She got married. She became a Beekle. Beekle was my maiden name. And yes, I am divorced now, but I retained the name from my marriage because it is the same name as my kiddos. So I'm a Lamb now, but anyways, it's the Bertram calendar, and we have been making a family calendar for, it's gotta be at least 20 years. And it's amazing how the process has evolved with technology. So we used to get together, bring our printed 4x6 pictures, cut them, and make collages for each of the calendar pages. And we did that for a long time. I've been doing the digital version of it for probably somewhere between 3 to 5 years now. But up until then, we would get together. Usually it was Thanksgiving weekend, and everyone would have to bring their printed pictures. We would harass Walgreens the day of calendar making because so many people were sending their pictures in at the last minute. It was so funny. But now we just have everyone submit digital pictures to my mom, and then her and I organize them, and then I design it on the computer because that is what I went to school for. So I just finished that. That is quite the undertaking. But it is so much fun. Okay, so now I have inky fingers. I'm gonna take a minute to wash them because I already see that I'm getting some fingerprints on them. Okay, so I have 2 extra, so I need to get the 2 worst ones out of here. So we gotta figure out which ones have the fingerprints. Without making more fingerprints in the meantime. Okay, so far we have 2 with fingerprints. No pressure. Okay. So there's 3 with pretty prominent. See, look it, there's that hat hair. Sorry, guys. I didn't want to, I had the ball in the way of the camera once, and I didn't want that to happen again. Okay, so we've got them sorted out now. Now, we finally are moving on past the stamping. Now we gotta assemble them. So let's punch out the flowers. Okay, the flowers get adhered with a dimensional. I was like, what is that on the back? It's from the Stella seeping through. Okay, so let's grab our dimensionals. We'll start with the pile of perfect ones. And then we'll move through. So go ahead and put the dimensional smack dab on the pink ink. And then grab one of the flowers and nest it in here. Wow, that's so pretty. Okay, I'll bring it up to you guys. So the Stella really adds to it, and the dimensional gives it that height. That's a beautiful touch as well. I love it. All right, I feel like I'm in a factory. We're mass producing tags here. I am so sorry. I have done a terrible job. I haven't called anyone out. So everyone that has joined in, hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. It is very pretty. I'm such a fan. And the boxes, so the boxes are fully printed. So that's awesome. And they're so pretty. When I open the box, the pink, I'm guessing, is this Flirty Flamingo? Coordinating Stampin' Up colors. So we've got Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Moody Mauve, and Pretty in Pink. So it's a gradient between Moody Mauve and Pretty in Pink. And when I open that box, man, that color scheme is just so gorgeous. I love it. Okay, so knowing that we have 12 boxes, I'm going to try to make the 12 best tags, and then we'll have some, I think we're going to have 2 extra tags and 2 extra flowers, which is fine. It's just helpful because I have fingerprints on a couple of them, so I'm going to try to keep them back. So we're halfway. We've got 6 done so far. Oh my gosh, we were talking about the weather. So Yes, I feel as though it is obscenely too cold. And yesterday, on Wednesdays, we have art at school, so that's one of the days that I teach. And Wednesdays, I also have recess duty. Now, it was not as cold yesterday as it is today. It was still cold. And I came in from recess duty, and I have a heated jacket, which is absolutely a saving grace. I didn't realize the battery had died though, so I was trying to turn it on, and I didn't understand why it wasn't, like, it was so funny. This is the first time that it died on me while I was using it, so I didn't really put together like, oh, okay, it's just dead, like, no big deal. So I was trying to push the button, and I was like, oh, I must just not, like, it's kind of like a rubbery button, so I was like, oh, I must just not be pushing the right side of it or the right part of it. And okay, let's see here. We'll do this one. So I was trying to turn it on, and my nail shattered. And I have really strong nails. I don't know if you've ever noticed. I tend to have long nails, and they are just very strong. And this one, it literally, the whole thing, it just laid over. It was so bizarre. I've never seen anything like that. My nails typically don't break, but it was so cold that my nail was brittle. I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Okay, so we'll make the 2 extras just because we can. They just have little fingerprinties on them. Okay, now get rid of the dimensional backs because they're gonna end up everywhere. Now we need to start assembling the boxes. So they're all already cut out and arranged. All you have to do, so simple, is take the adhesive. So it came with these adhesive strips. You're gonna take one of them. So peel it off. This is gonna go on this tab on the far right. Then you can peel the waxy backing off. We're gonna fold it in half, and then we're gonna fold back the tab to close it, okay? So that's like that. Then we can pop it up. Now we've got our box that has dimension, and all we need to do is close it. Now I need to remember here how this works. I feel like that was correct. So the first one you want to put down is the square end. So the only thing that is cut out is a little tooth mark. So that can go down first. Then the 2 sides, you can tab them under. And last is the V-shaped end. You can kind of round it and tuck the tail into the bottom. So that makes a nice secure close. Then on the top,
Tigger wants to say hi.
oh, hello, kitty.
He says hi.
Hello. I know, don't these cherry boxes look so cute? Okay, so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of, there's no scoring on the top. So we're just gonna kind of round in the 2 plain edges, and then the flower edges have a tab that's gonna nest into each other. So we're gonna round those down and then connect the flower. Now this is I'm going to say, a little thicker than cardstock. It's nice, thick material, which is helpful because there's going to be a lot of tension on this flower to keep it closed. But in doing that, it's also harder to kind of fold it without actually creasing it. But you're really going to want to try to focus on bending it without creasing it. If you do get a fold mark in it, that's a-okay, but it's going to look better if we are able to move it without actually creasing it. So now you have it closed. Next, we are going to take 12 inches of twine, and then that's what we're going to string through our tag to secure it. So there is a ruler on the side of our pamphlet. It does only go up to 9 inches, but I'll tell you a secret. This is a 6-inch panel, so you just need to make it the length of 2 of the panels. So you can snip it here. And then you're going to grab one of your tags, put it through the hole, and now it appears as though this is going to go under the flower, and then we're just going to tie a bow on the opposite side. So let's see if we can do that. So you're just going to make a tie, and then you're going to make a bow with the loops. Now here's one of those times that having long nails is not super convenient because it's just hard to work with ribbon sometimes. But here you go. You got a bow, you got the tails hanging off on this side. And there's your beautiful little cherry blossom box. Look at that.
It's not really cute.
It's adorable.
What are you going to put in the inside?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
But what I am going to do, I'm not going to make all 12 of them with you because it will just be a very repetitive process, but I will do one more just in case you want to see it one more time. Okay, so you take the flattened version of the box, which is your template, and you're going to take one adhesive strip. You're going to stick it on the far right tab. You can take off the waxy backer. Next, you're going to fold the whole box in half. You're going to fold down the tab, and then you are going to close the box while it's in half. Once the adhesive has taken, then you can pop your box open. So now it's all together. Okay. All right, then it comes to securing the bottom. So again, we're going to take the squared off tab. So this is opposite one of the flower tabs. It's completely a rectangle with just one tab tucked out of it. Okay, so you're going to fold that one down first. Next, you're going to fold down the 2 tabs that are to the side of it, and you're going to push down far enough for it to clip under the first tab that we put down. Okay? The last tab is the triangle tab. This, the way that I felt as though it went the easiest is when you push it down. Now, you push it down to flat, but if you push it farther down, it's going to push all the tabs down. And if you keep pushing until it catches, now it's all how it's supposed to be. Yes, it is not closed, but all of the tabs are under the first tab we pushed down, which is how it's going to be secured, closed the most secure. Now, if you flip it back over, you can just push it down from the inside, and you didn't have to really fight or wrestle with any of the tabs, okay? So that is my suggestion on how to close the bottom of the box the easiest without risking tearing or kind of fighting with any of the tabs. Now we need to close the top. So again, I'm going to suggest that you kind of push down the two circle tabs, kind of give them a little bit of resistance so that they're ready when you connect the flowers. So I'm gonna push those two down. I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to start to push the flower tabs down while still holding it closed. I'm also going to kind of turn the flower tabs so that we can make a connection with the closure. Okay, so I'm almost got it closed. All I need to do is pull the flower taut so that it lines up. So there you go. Now you got to see me create two of the boxes, a little more annotated the second time with some tips on how to best do it. Then to finish it off, we took 12 inches of ribbon. We put it through the hole. Guess I could do that again. Zoop. Got 12 inches. Fed the twine through the hole in the tag. Oopsies, we just dropped one. May as well grab that one before we lose it. Another reason why there's spares. Okay, so go ahead and put that through. You can line your tails up so that you have two equal 6-inch halves of twine. Then we are going to tuck the tag under the flower. Boop and boop. Turn it around 180 degrees, tie it, and then make a bow. Now, while I'm making this bow, we're gonna critically think about what we can put in this. This is bigger than I expected it to be, so that's kind of cool. Obviously, treat boxes are made for treats. You could put a ton of treats in here. Any bite-sized candy would fit in here. You could also put, so I know it's hard to tell because you are looking at it through a screen, but this is like the size of a ring box, like a, when you go to the jeweler, a wedding ring kind of ring box. So it's pretty big. I'm impressed. You could put a lot of different trinkety things in there. Okay, so we tie it. Now we're gonna make the bow loops. Ah, you can do it. That's the nail that I just broke. Would have come in handy right there. Okay, clean up your bow, and there you got two of your treat boxes made. Perfect. All right, so that concludes our first kit. Now we are moving on to the Perpetual calendar. So give me a minute, I'll pick up my stuff so that we can transition into the calendar. So I told you, I kind of teased earlier, Stampin' Up! Had a Perpetual calendar probably somewhere between 7 and 10 years ago. I remember making it, and then I loved it. I thought it was such a brilliant idea. If you don't know what a Perpetual calendar is, I will show it off in just a minute, and you'll get a better idea of what we're talking about here. But I bought many of them, and I made them for people because I thought they were just so handy, so useful. So every year, every day on the calendar repeats, of course, except for February 29th. But every year, each day that happens on a different day of the week. And that happens very rotationally. A perpetual calendar just takes all of the dates and strips it away from the day of the week. So when I was making them years ago, what I did was I put, October 7th, that's my birthday, and then with everyone's event, the year that it happened, so October 7th, 1991, and went through and put everyone's birthday and anniversary and special occasions on the calendar, and then it was just such a great, meaningful gift. My grandma, I made one for grandma, still has it and still uses it because it's perpetual. It never expires. Whereas a traditional calendar next year is useless because this year my birthday was on, say, a Monday. Well, next year it's going to be on a Tuesday. So I love the concept of a perpetual calendar. I'm so excited that they brought it back. The perpetual calendar from probably 10 years ago was cool. This one is incredible. I am definitely getting one. I love so now I have it unpacked. I love the foil accents. This is kind of like a rose gold color. Also, if you don't know this about me, I love watercolor, and it's got beautiful watercolor foliage. Yes, in green. Green has a space and a place, just not at the top of my favorites list. And it's got a nice thick chipboard cover. Also, it's got beautiful copper or rose gold coiling on the top. So the presentation here is absolutely incredible. I love it. So then what we have is 12 months worth of listings, and it's intuitively designed so that there's 31 on the first page. So of course that's January. Then we go to the 1 February. Of course it does include 29. Now every year doesn't have a February 29th, but some years there are, and of course there are some people who have special occasions on that day. So what we are doing, wow, holy man, these instructions are crazy. Okay, so let's start just by looking at the back. So the back has a lay flat of all of the things that we are unpacking. Also, the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors, we have our basic black, crumb cake, garden green, lost lagoon, misty moonlight, and pretty peacock. Pretty peacock is the spot that came with this kit, and this as well is an all-inclusive kit. So we did get another block here. Okay. The stamp set that came with it includes, oh, I just had that, typography for each of the months. So January, February, March, April, all the way through. Then we've got, these are the headers. So this is where we are going to be, I think, stamping the month names on. Excuse me. These are going to accent where the month names are, which are going to be stamped on the white. Then we have adhesive foliage stickers. So this is incredible. All of these are laser cut and they're cut out on adhesive paper. So there's no need for adhesives. You notice we didn't have any glue dots or dimensionals or anything. We also have some watercolor foliage, and then look at these beautiful rose gold pieces. Wow, wow, wow. This is stunning. Okay. If I had to guess, oh, look at these, all of this. This is all adhesive. That's incredible. Okay, so let me move this off to the side, grab my pretty peacock. So you'll notice that these banners come in, it looks like 2 different sizes. So of course some of our month names are shorter. So we've got 2 different sizes for the short and the long. When you open the instructions, it shows all of the pieces, the colors and the sizes that correspond. And then we've got instructions for how to lay out each of the months. So I'm going to start first by stamping all of the month names onto the white adhesive strips. So I'm going to move everything else out of the way for the time being. And I'm focusing just on the stamps, the stamp pad, and the white banners. So let's move this stuff out of the way. And we'll start, we're just gonna go straight in order down the list of months. So we've got January 1st. Ha! January 1st, ironically. That was not how I intended to say it, but January 1st is New Year's Day, aka Chris's birthday. That's coming up. Where did I move my block? Dun, 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 dun. It's probably like right in front of me, but anyways. Okay, so here we have January. This is a brand new stamp set. Oftentimes you'll hear me say that I like to stamp off the quote-unquote stickiness of a brand new photopolymer stamp. So you'll hear that kind of ripping sound. I personally feel like when I stamp that off, I get a cleaner image the first time I stamp it. Okay, so going in, grabbing some ink from the stamp pad. Now, January, if I had to guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so there's plenty of spares. January, I presume, is one of the longer ones. The shorter ones I think we're going to reserve for July, June, May, and April. So we're just going to do our best to center it left to right and top to bottom. Beautiful. Have to get our chamois out so we can clean off our stamps, and then we're just going to rip through the whole list. Okay, February is next. That's also a long one. So I counted out, and there are plenty of extras in case you miss-stamp or miss-center any of your ones. It's totally fine to stamp it over. Okay, so next up we have February. Then March, we're going to transition over to a shorter one. I lost my checks. Okay, let's go back. There it is. Okay, February, March. April will be another shorter one. So will May, so will June, so will July. Holy man, we just have a good stretch there. Okay, so March, April. So Chris, I heard you say pretty peacock before. Do you view that as a green?
It's a green blue.
Yeah. See, to me,
It's a, I would say more green. I think I have it with my green ink pads. instead of my blue
Wow.
ink pads. What would
and
you
maybe
say?
this is just the pessimist in me who doesn't like green, but
think
I
have it on
definitely.
the
Dark edge of my green.
I have
You
on
have
the
it
dark
as the
end of my
dark.
green.
Okay, and I would have it on. I mean, obviously
lied.
it is a transitional color.
I lied.
It's with the blues.
I
That's
stand corrected.
funny.
So what's funny is I have it with Pool Party and Lost Lagoon. So
See,
like,
I
those
view
are-
it as a blue.
So this is the wrong spot. So what I have, okay, it has its own category actually. So I have greens, I have blues, and then I have the blue greens
There
together.
you go.
The Peacock Lost Lagoon Pool Party together. And Coastal Cabana's in that group. So it's a trick question.
It is a trick question. There really is no right and wrong. Obviously, the colors that are secondary colors, or are those those are tertiary colors. They are in between for a reason. But everyone sees them their own way. But to me, this is definitely a blue. Okay, so we've got July, which means we're just over halfway there. Now, August, I think I'm going to switch back to the long ones. You think of it as a green too, okay. So I might be in the minority, but I definitely see it as a blue. Okay, August. Oh my goodness, you guys. You've been watching me this whole time. Actually, I feel like, no, see, here's the thing. My video was not on live, so I was watching myself, even though you were watching me. Silly, silly. My brain is only like 30% functional this morning. that might be generous. All right, so next is September. That, of course, I think the rest of them are all long. Okay, September, October, November, December. Yes, the rest of them are all long ones. Okay. September just fits. I'm guessing October's a little shorter. November and December have a little more room than September. So, fun fact, September is the longest month, at least in this font. I usually, when I'm making a calendar or working with the months, I usually use November because I always thought November was the longest. Okay, October, one of the best months of the year. Put that one down. So, as I am stamping these, and you're seeing it fill in, there are 4 extra of each of the sizes. So very generous with the extras here, which is great because, it is frustrating when you stamp something not quite perfect, especially when it's for a gift or for something that is used forever, like a perpetual calendar. It's kind of in the name. All right, November is next, and then December. So please feel free, if any of your stamped months are not perfect, you definitely have the opportunity to restamp it because they gave you 8 extras out of 12. So that was quite generous. the M in November is not quite inked up. I love photopolymer stamps.
Oh, I know, right?
They are the best.
Because they love us.
They do love us. All right, then last but absolutely certainly not least is December. Okay, December. Diciembre. And it took until December, but I just got my fingers in the ink. So here we go. So we're going to get some fingerprints everywhere. Oh, and a cat hair. December is proving to be a little challenging. A little stinker. Okay, December. Perfect. Okay, so now we want to clean up our stations because I think that is all the stamping we have to do. Those are the only stamps that came with the kit, so I have a feeling that is it. Again, another reason why this would make for a great gift, because if you are not a stamper or you're gifting it to someone who's not a stamper, they can very easily make a beautiful and successful kit out of this. Okay, I am going to set this aside because that needs to get rinsed out. Let's move the stamps and the stamp pad out of the way, and now it's just sticker play. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands one more time. Definitely do not want any green fingerprints over our project. I'll appease the masses. Okay. Take a water break, and then we're gonna get compiling. Okay. Oh. I don't remember if I showed off the box. So the box is different. Typically, all of our kits come in this box, which is the same size, shape, and orientation of our paper pumpkin boxes. But because of the size of this calendar, the box is bigger, but thinner. Still has the same craft and black design, which is absolutely beautiful, but kind of cool. Okay, so now we are going to transition okay. So open to the first flap. January we are using, so January and July have the same design. Okay. So we are going to use, okay, so we've got Crumb Cake, Misty Moonlight, Pretty Peacock. I'm guessing that's Garden Green, and I am going to check on that color. Lost Lagoon. Okay, so we are going to use Lost Lagoon in the long strip. Oh, okay. We are going way out of order. First, we need to put down the golden strip. So this is going to be the piece with the loopy leaves. And these are very thin, so be very careful when you are pulling this off. You do not want them to break. So this is going to go here-ish. Okay, so there's no right or wrong placement. This one I have placed farther to the right than the photo shows. So keep that in mind if you are or are not a fan of that. Next, we are going to take the Misty Moonlight piece that has the bud ends. So that's this one. Again, very fine details here, which make it very, very beautiful, but also make it more tender. So be gentle when you are, more delicate, I meant to say. So be gentle when you are peeling it off. Okay, so it appears as though all of the stems kind of come from a central bouquet type. I, however, am going to kind of keep them a little spaced out so that it doesn't continue to elevate. Now we're going to the watercolor. We are taking the watercolor leaves with a strongly blue spine and the V-shaped leaves. Okay, now this is gonna go off to the left. Then we are going to take the Lost Lagoon strip. This is going to go, okay, so now, I don't know if I can lift this up anymore. I probably can, but I don't wanna break it. I'm going to try to move this just so that, again, it's not on it's not continuing to layer up. So I had it a little bit too close here. I just want it not on that Misty Moonlight piece. But that gets it off the page. So I'm going to revert back to how it was before. So we're going to start here. We're going to direct it off that way. Okay. Now, the Lost Lagoon strip is going to go here. And then peel the January strip off next. And this is going to be cocked off of it kind of like a drop shadow. So we're going to kick it to the right a little bit and drop it down a little bit. And like I said, all of these pieces are self-adhesive, so boom, we are done. Okay. Next is February, however you say that. Okay, so again, we're going to do the rose gold piece first. This piece is going to be right here, so it's going to be the open leaves that are long and narrow.
Oh, you must have got warm. Your hat came on.
So when I am stamping, they get to see my head, and when I had my hat on, it was completely covering the camera. So it was a strategic move. Okay, we're going back to this. We're gonna grab, let's see here. This is gonna be Pretty Peacock. There's only one Pretty Peacock piece, so I don't need to make an awful description of it for you. Okay. Back to the watercolor sheet. We're going to use this leaf that's in the lower right with the very thick, wide leaves. Okay, and that's going to go right down the center. Now be careful, I almost just made a huge mistake. Be careful when you're placing that you're not running it off the top of the page. Also, I'm gonna try to stick it where it's a little bit kind of not covering up too much of the Pretty Peacock over here. So that's where I'm gonna place that one. For our strips here, we're going to be using the Crumb Cake strip. And I'm gonna nest it. So I don't want it to get too far down. So I'm gonna buck this a little bit and I'm gonna put it a little bit higher than it is shown in the image. Trying my best to make it straight, level, I should say. And then again, we're gonna cock this down just like that. Now, the next month is March. However, we are going to go to July because July is simply a repeat of January. And then we're gonna go to August next because that is simply a repeat of February. So July appears to be this followed by August. Okay, so July is the next page that has a crumb cake circle and it has 31 days. And that's a good way to make sure you're doing the right one. 31 days in July. All right, let's get back to the live chat, which is not where I am. Don't mind me, just an ad for some movies. Oh. Okay. Are we back? We're back at live. Great. Okay. Now, July. So we are back to knitting. We've got the rose gold loopy leaves. Oh my goodness, I'm so scared of breaking it. Okay. So that's gonna go here-ish. Then we're gonna go with the Misty Moonlight. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. That was not quite right. They don't cross like that. They're supposed to kind of line up. So, I don't know, I'm not a medical person, so I don't know what the actual description is, but what it feels like is my blood sugar dips and I get real shaky and I can feel that coming on. So I'm gonna finish up July and then I'm gonna go grab something quick to munch on so that I don't get all shaky on you guys. So we're gonna put this off to the left. We're going to grab the short Lost Lagoon. Oh, I did the February a little backwards. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but. So July is gonna go here-ish. Now we're gonna pop this one up this way. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna flip to, well, I'm gonna leave that so you have something to look at. I'm gonna go grab something quick to munch on. Raspberries will do the charm. Just need to be careful not to be leaving any red fingerprints anywhere now. Okay. Good gracious. Okay. Flipping now to August. Okay, so we are back to the rose gold. Long, skinny, open leaves. Something like that. Then we need Pretty Peacock. And the fat leaves. Okay, just like last time, I'm gonna focus on this area over here. Okay, so that's a little too high. You know what? I think it'll still work. It's very close up here by the coil, but I think it's just clearing. Okay. August also has a crumb cake. Okay. I feel like that's a little crooked. So let's pivot that. All right. Now we're gonna flip and we are on to September, October, March, and April. Ooh, okay, so September has a green circle. All right, so for September, we are going to be grabbing the rose gold close, long and skinny leaves. Okay. For the watercolor, we're going to be grabbing the circle leaves. Woo! Okay. Plan ahead better. Start from the top and go down. Okay, and then we have the garden green foliage. We are using the long Misty Moonlight. And of course, grabbing September. October. October has the rose gold buds. Crumb cake. Now there's two different options here. So this is crumb cake with the open leaves. And then upper left, so the fat Not quite as fat as the other ones, but the fat circle leaves. It'll go right up the middle. Oh, this is so, I love this layout. This is so pretty. Hey, it's October. That's, you know, kind of a cool month. Okay, so then we have the long garden green for October. And then, of course, we have the October plate. So cute. Okay, so we just did September, October. Now we're going back to March and April because they are just repeats. March, we've got green, and it goes to 31, just so you know you're in the right spot. We need a berry break. Okay, so now we're just repeating. So we've got the skinny rose gold. We've got the buds. Oh, wait. Yeah. And then we have garden green. Oops. Okay. We have a long misty moonlight. Uh-oh. I stamped it on a short one. And it appears as though there are no extra of these, so I will have to go back and stamp March on a long one. See, that's why they gave us extras. It fits absolutely perfectly fine on a short one, but we don't have extra of the colored pieces, so I don't want to mess with that. All right. Let's grab our chamois. Oh, I put that behind me because it needs to be rehydrated. I'm watching replay. Sorry, guys. You get a real good shot of my hair when I stamp. Oops, that's upside down. Okay. I'm going to take one more berry break because I want that to dry a little bit. Oh my goodness. My berries are borderline too old. Like a few of them, a very, very, very few of them are starting to mold, which is fine. But they're very soft and juicy. which makes them very dirty for my precious stamp projects. All right, so March. Followed by April. Okay, so for April we have the rose gold berries. We have crumb cake open leaves. And then we have watercolor leaves. I wish I could bring that one down a little bit. So I'm going to do something weird and rip it off and then replace it a little bit lower so it doesn't get completely covered up. You know, something like that. Okay, now April is green and it's short. So one thing I'm learning about this kit is you have to get comfortable with a lot of white space. It's totally fine. But that's just interesting to me. Okay, so we've got April. Then we are in the home stretch, the last 4. Starting with May. May is crumb cake in the middle. May also has 31 days. So we have rose gold leaves. I don't have very good skills to differentiate between the leaves, so I must not have taken any botany classes or anything like that. Then we have Misty Moonlight open leaves. And watercolor leaves that are left. That's how I'm going to describe them. They're still on the sheet. Okay, then we have a short, pretty peacock. And then we have May. Oh no, that is very crooked. Very, very, very crooked. Okay. Then June. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Okay. For June.
You're forgiven.
I knocked the camera. We all went on a roller coaster ride. Okay, so this has the rose gold veiny leaves. The next layer is going to be crumb cake. Offset that onto the right side. And then we have our watercolor circle leaves going down the middle. We have short misty moonlight. This is it appears as though I forgot to stamp June. So we're gonna get our stamp pad out again. Silly. Sorry to all you June babies out there. I think I forgot about you. Or I stuck it somewhere where I wasn't intending to use it. At the end, we're gonna go through and do a quality control, and we'll see. If June is somewhere where it's not supposed to be, we'll fix it then. Okay, so June goes on a short one. And the chamois. All right, put the stamp back. We'll take one last berry break while we give that just a minute to ruminate. Wipe off our juicy fingers. All right, June. Okay. Now we should go right into July that we already started. So we're gonna flip backwards to November and December. November is just a repeat of May. So we have our rose gold leaves. Off to the left. We have what am I looking for? Misty Moonlight open leaves. Then we have watercolor leaves. Centering that somewhat down the middle. All right, then we have a long, pretty peacock. We have November. Wow, this is just so gorgeous. I am a huge fan. And then turn the page, ending the year with December. You can fact check it. We've got Lost Lagoon with 31 days. So we're using what's left, which should be an open leaf, veiny open leaf of rose gold. We should have leafy crumb cake. And then circle leaves of our watercolor. Yeah. The last color we have over here is Misty Moonlight. And the last stamp we have is December. It's beautiful. So let's take a walk down memory lane. So, stunning cover with all of the elements that we incorporated on the inside. January. February. March. April. May. June. July. August. September. October. November. December. What a fun kit, what a fun project, and what a beautiful gift. I love it. I hope you had a great time with kit class with me today. We made treat boxes and a perpetual calendar. Talk about 'tis the season for gifting. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend, and holiday season ahead. I will catch you on the next Paper Pumpkin. I don't know if that's before, after, or during the holidays. So I hope you have a wonderful day, lots of sunshine, love, and big hugs headed your way.